Okay, let me freestyle here. Hello, hola, ¿cómo estás? To my friends and amigos all over the world. Aquaba, ¿cómo está acá? Just hello to all my friends, all right? What's today? Today is what, 5th of September, 2021. Tomorrow's Labor Day. It's a 3-day weekend for pretty much almost everybody in America. Now, today is a big surprise. I got a special guest. She's hiding her face, but I'm gonna show her anyway. This here is my daughter, Diana. Can you say hi at least?
Hello.
She don't want to be on camera. I'm forcing her. Anyway, now the reason why I'm doing this video today is like her father, my daughter has got the traveling bug. Okay, she wants to go to, where do you want to go first? Japan. Good old Japan. This video is going to be kind of dark, but I think it's all right. Now, since you want to go to Japan for her first long distance flight, I think I should make a video and give her advice on how to survive your very first long distance flight. Okay, because I've been to Japan at least 4 times, 3 of them by transit to the Philippines. So let me get to some advices I could give her on how to survive and you a very long distance flight. All right. Now, in my humble opinion, most Americans, including yours truly, you have no idea what it's like to have, to be on the long distance flight, right? Simply because the fuck is raining. Simply because for most Americans, the longest they spend on planes is like 2-3 hours. All right, for an average American, flying from New York to Atlanta, 2-hour flight is a big deal. Or flying from New York to Miami, 3-hour flight. To most Americans, it's a long distance flight. And crap. And for most Americans, don't worry about the AC. I need
It's
the AC.
gonna overpower the sound.
Nah, it's gonna be alright. For most Americans, flying from let's say New York to LA is a super long distance flight for them, for 5-hour flight. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just Americans. Most people in the world don't know what it's really like to fly super long distance. Okay, now I know after this pandemic, traveling is gonna get back in full effect. I mean, I myself, I can't wait to start traveling again. Okay. Now I've taken several long distance journeys in my lifetime. All right, the first long distance journey I took let me turn that. You was right. That sound, AC sound is too much. So anyway, my first long distance journey that I took, that was even before he was born. I had a flight from New York. It was Lufthansa from New York to Frankfurt. That's like 7+ hours. And then we had a connection from Frankfurt to Bangkok. That was before he was born. And don't ask me what I went to Bangkok for, because you don't need to know that. Okay? And Phuket. That was my first ultra long distance flight. And from Frankfurt to Bangkok was like, man, that was like 1996, way before he was born. So if my memory serves me right, it was about 12 hours plus. It was a long flight. That was the first time I ever experienced a really, really long flight. Okay? After that, I mean, I've done several flights like, flying across the Atlantic to New York to, let's say, London. That reaches like 6-7 hours. I don't even call that long distance flights. Okay? Of course, I've traveled, long distance flights like New York to Accra, Ghana, which is 11 hours direct flights. I've done that several times. What else? Well, where else have I been to? I've done several long distance flights, especially when it comes to Asia. All right. So, like, to most people, flying from New York to the Caribbean is the longest distance experience they'll ever have. Like flying from New York to like Jamaica or whatever, it's like 5 hours. To me, it's like it's nothing. All right, it's absolutely nothing to me. So let me. I took down some few notes. So I could give you some tips. Okay. So like I was saying, right? I wrote down here. I did New York to Frankfurt, of course. New York to Accra, New York. Oh, I did New York to Dubai. New York to Dubai, which was 12 plus hours. Okay, and then when I really started traveling to Asia, my first flight, and I know you remember this, my first flight to Asia was from New York to Tokyo and Narita, and that's where you'll be going. Okay, now the craziest flight I've ever been on was New York to Hong Kong. That's 16 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, now Japan is no joke. Japan is 14 hours. Like 14 hours and 5 minutes with ANA. So get ready for that. It's not going to be easy, but I know you can do it. Okay? Of course, I've also taken flights from New York to Taipei, Taiwan. Of course, for connection flight to the Philippines. Okay? Korea, I've stopped over in Korea 2 times, in Incheon. Beautiful. That's another 14 plus hours. So my body is used to those long distance flights. Okay? Of course, I've gone as far south as from Japan to the Philippines to where was I last year? Singapore and Kuala Lumpur. Before the pandemic hit, that's where I went with Nelia, of course. So I don't consider like traveling from, like, let's say New York to London or to Paris or even to Rome. I don't consider those long distance flights because that is like half of the journeys that I've gotten used to now. So okay, so let's get to the point how you can make long distance traveling easy for you. All right, for a first timer like you. All right, I'm gonna give you 5 tips on how to survive long distance flights. Okay, now the first, and to me probably the most important thing you need to do for a very long distance flight, right, is wear comfortable clothing. Believe me, do not wear jeans like I did my first time I was flying to Japan. I was wearing jeans, and not just jeans, I was wearing skinny jeans. Okay, skinny jeans, nice, button down Tommy Hilfiger shirt, right? And shoes, and I'm not talking about sneakers, I'm talking about real shoes. Okay, and it turned out to be the most uncomfortable experience I ever had on a flight. I had to take off my shoes mid-flight. My feet was killing me. Okay, wearing skinny jeans didn't help. You're not a man, so you won't understand. But wearing skinny jeans did not help. Okay, so what you need to do is you're gonna have to dress comfortable. Dress like you dress right now. You know what I'm saying? Like wear like a hoodie. Even if you have to wear sweatpants and sneakers for traveling, or slip-on sneakers, that's the best thing you could do. Because if you make a mistake and wear any uncomfortable clothing, you are gonna regret it. Okay? Number 2, You know what? Something for long distance traveling, right? You need to carry yourself a water bottle, like the one you have, the one you take to work with, right? You need to carry yourself an empty water bottle, preferably two of them. You know why I'm saying that? Because most Asian airlines, right? Japan Airlines, Japan and ANA is actually, they're pretty good with, anything you request. Yeah, they're pretty polite and pretty good with it. But if you make a mistake and fly like Air China, because one time I flew Air China from New York to Shanghai through to Manila. And it turned out to be the worst experience ever. You know why? The freaking Chinese airlines, the Air China especially, right? Nana, soon as you step in the airline, soon as you step in the airplane, it's like, welcome to communist China. You get no freaking smiles. They are strict with every freaking little thing. Okay? And worst of all, we took off from New York, right? And about 2-3 hours into the flight, they served us our first meal, right? So I ate, and I was like, let me catch a little sleep because, it's a long flight from New York to Shanghai, right? And as soon as I fell asleep I don't know how long I slept actually. All I saw was, we've landed. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, so I woke up from my sleep. I'm like, what? Where are we? We're in Shanghai already? Right? And the guy sitting next to me is like, nope. We're in freaking Anchorage, Alaska.
What?
Say that again. What? I was like, what? Anchorage? I'm like, but they didn't tell us anything about having a stopover. I thought it was a direct flight from New York to Shanghai. We stopped in freaking Anchorage for them to refuel the plane. It's a beautiful plane though, 747-8. And I was like, yo, this is surprising. They didn't give any announcement. Maybe they did while I was sleeping, but all I know is we landed in freaking Alaska. Stay on the ground for like an hour and a half. Then we took off to Shanghai. But that's not even the thing. Why I was telling you to carry water bottle is I've had this experience with Air China. China Airlines, which it don't belong to China, it belongs to Taiwan. From New York to Taipei, I had the same experience. And even Korean Airlines, they will serve you, good food and everything. When it comes to giving you water, these people give you like this tiny little cup, and half of it, they give it anytime. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, yo, what the? You know how I drink. I'm like, what is this? They're like, and it's not just me, to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This happened the first time I flew with Air China, right? So I asked the flight attendant, I'm like, yo, can I get some more water? She said, oh no. She can't even speak English right, first of all. She said, this is how much water we give to everybody. I was like, dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So water, ever since that experience, anytime I'm flying long distance, I carry my own water bottles. One thing, you cannot enter through TSA with a water bottle. So you empty, you take the water bottle empty. When you get to the airport, every international airport have water fountains, clean water fountains.
Okay.
You refill it. You refill your bottle, right? Now, do not take my advice, my daughter. Do not, and to you guys watching, do not ever buy anything from an airport.
Okay. But why?
Why? Good question. I done spent $6 for a cup of tea in Amsterdam airport before. $6 for a freaking cup of tea, just one little cup, not even a large cup, little cup like this, $6. Okay, I done spend $20 because I forgot padlock on one of my suitcases. I spent $20 for a tiny little padlock. Okay, a padlock that I would have spent like $2 right here in any store in New York.
Yeah.
I ended up spending $20 to buy that little freaking padlock. So anything that you want to buy from an airport is jacked up 10 times the price. So do not, I repeat, do not buy anything from any airport. All right? Carry your own water bottle, and it's the best advice I could give you when it comes to that. All right? Because most airlines with going to like Asia and Africa, you will be fed, because long distance flights, it's not like flying from, like, let's say New York to Miami, where they'll give you peanuts and freaking soda or whatever. You know, it's not like that.
Yeah.
Or flying from New York to Atlanta, they give you like cookie and water. You know, it's not like that. You will be served 3, like, especially if you're flying ANA of Japan, you will be served 3 meals. I'm talking about 3 square meals in 14 hours.
Okay.
Awesome meals too. Okay, so that's good. All right, let's move on to number 3. All right. You know how you ever been at an airport? You see some people carrying that neck pillow thing.
Yes.
That since you're going to Japan, you need that. That thing could be your best friend. Okay, and also before you go, I'll make sure you get window seat. You know why I'm saying that? Because with a window seat, you can lean yourself on the window like this, right, and sleep. You get more. You know, it's like you have the neck pillow, and you can lean yourself on the window, and you actually feel a little more comfortable than somebody in the middle seat. I mean, I don't know how people can be in a middle seat for 14 hours. I don't know how they do it. I could never do that. I make sure any long distance flight that I book, first thing I do is make sure I check for the seats and put myself in the window seat, because that could be your best friend. Okay. And also sleeping eye shades, you know,
Yeah.
like the one I have in the house.
Yeah.
Make sure you get yourself one of those, because that thing could be your best friend. I mean, most long distance flights, you know, the lights will be turned off after 3-4 hours into the flight, so people could start sleeping or whatever. But still, you need that. It helps. It really helps you to get some good sleep. All right. Now, I think I almost said anything about this here already, but window seat is very important.
Yeah.
That's number 4. Window seat, to me, you know, I'm adventurous. I like seeing things, you know, like the fact that I get window seat, I've experienced and seen things that I would have never seen if I didn't have a window seat. For example, like seeing the international date line, you know, crossing the international date line, where you are flying in total darkness, right? And within 3-4 minutes, you fly from total darkness into broad daylight. It's a beautiful experience. If you have a window seat, you will experience that on your way to Japan. Okay? I've also flown over the North Pole in Cathay Pacific from New York to Hong Kong. Okay? You get to see that. It's just beautiful. You can actually look out the window and see nothing but ice. Okay? Flying from New York to Hong Kong, you fly over Siberia, you fly over Mongolia, over the Gobi Desert, one of the largest deserts in the world. You have a window seat, you get to see that. That's why window seat is very important. All right? Let's move on to number 5. Sleep. I'm going to give you one trick of how you can actually enjoy a long distance, like since you're going to Japan. Most Japanese flights, I mean, I've had a flight from New York to Tokyo in the morning, but majority takes off in the evening, right? But if you're going, this is my advice to you. Let's say if you're taking a morning flight, right? The best thing you could do is the night before the flight. Let's say your flight is like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Do not sleep the whole night before.
Okay.
Stay up.
Okay.
Stay up the whole night, right? By the time you get to the airport, you're already like kind of tired and, feeling it.
Yeah.
As soon as you take off, within about an hour or two, they'll serve you your first meal, right? After that, you get food in your stomach and you haven't slept the whole night before you know it, you'll be knocked out. And you could actually get to sleep out. I mean, you could get a good 6-7 hours of good rest out of the 14. That will make the trip much, much easier. Because if you don't, I could barely sleep in planes. So if you don't know the tricks to be in the system, it's going to be hard for you. Because 14 hours in the plane is not a joke. All right? Also, one thing I could tell you is if you're flying from west to east, flying from New York to Tokyo, remember, you are going through 12 different time zones. You understand what I'm saying? 12 different time zones. So when you're flying from, remember, Japan is 12 hours ahead of us. Most of Asia that I've been to is 12 hours ahead of us. That's Japan, China, some parts of China, Hong Kong. Hong Kong is 11 hours. Philippines is 12, sometimes 13 hours. Korea is 12, sometimes 11. It depends on the season. So when you fly from west to east, by the time you actually reach Japan, right, you're full of energy. But it's vice versa when you travel from east to west. When you travel back into time, right? Have you noticed anytime I come from Japan or the Philippines, it takes me about 3-4 days before I could get back to my normal self. Because traveling back into time takes a total different toll on your body. It is severely painful. That's what jet lag is really about. When you travel backwards into time, you notice like anytime grandma travel from Ghana to United States, it's like it's just I think it's just about 5-6 hour time difference between New York and Ghana, but still it's difficult because the flight is like 10 hours, right? So those are some of the tips I could give you about traveling long distance. All right. I hope this can help you some way somehow. And I know once after you do the Japan trip, you're gonna want to see other countries in Asia and also in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm passing the torch to you. Good luck to you. And that's all I can say. Not just to you, but also to my subscribers. If you're thinking about taking a long distance trip, I hope some of my advices here can help you some way somehow. All right. My name is Yao Fosu. If this is the first time you're watching my video, subscribe to my channel. To my old subscribers, thank you very much. We're getting up there in numbers, and we're gonna make it some way somehow. All right. Take good care of yourself. Love you, and cheers. You want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Should I put the camera on you to say goodbye? No? All right, people. Take care.